Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how to implement pagination in React application using ASP.NET Web API. So guys, before going through this video, please visit my previous videos. I'll show you in my browser. So guys, if you are new to React application, go through my React tutorial playlist and you'll get some ideas, that is how to consume the ASP.NET Web API in React application. So same way, if you new to ASP.NET Web API, okay, and you need to get some ideas on how to create ASP.NET Web API and how to connect to SQL Server through Web API, you go through this playlist called ASP.NET Web API tutorial. So here you'll get ideas how to create a .NET entity data model to connect to the SQL Server. Okay, so let's go to my presentation. So guys, in this video I'll show you how to create a web API endpoint to call in React.js, how to set up the React-bootstrap table for pagination, how to check web API endpoints using browser inspect element. So guys, there is one notes I have mentioned I prepare to implement the pagination in React application. So step 1, we need to create a table called employees. I'll go to my SQL Server. So guys, this is the script for creating the table. ID, name, gender, salary, these are the columns, and I have some dummy records for this table. So I have total 21 records. Okay, so let's check about the step 2. Create the ADO.NET entity data model to map to the above table. So I'll go to the my Visual Studio. Okay, so guys, if you expand that models folder, there is one Satya model.edmx. So if you right click on the models, and it will asking about the creating the ADO.NET entity data model, right? So if you select the add, there is ADO.NET entity data model. After click that, it will open one window and it will asking which database objects you want. So I am mapping to my employees table. So once it's successfully created, right, if you expand that satyamodel.edmx, satyamodel.tt, and there is one employee.cs. So system will by default create the class file based on the object, based on the database object. So if you expand that, I am getting the same property, ID, name, gender, and salary here. Okay, if you are new to how to create ADO.NET entity data model, go through my playlist ASP.NET Web API tutorial, and there you will get some step-by-step process to create the EDMX or ADO.NET entity data model file. So step 3, we need to check web.config for connection string. So guys, if you open that web.config, scroll to bottom, so there is one line is adding here SatyaDB entities, and this is the connection string is added by the system by default when I create the entity data model, right? And you can see this connection string is adding the data source and this database name and the integrated security true and some relevant properties for connection strings. So this line is added by default by the system. This is auto generated. Okay, so let's check about the step 4. We need to add API control logic. So guys, here in models folder I have created one CS file, employee view model. So this class file is used, one is for total count, another is for a list of employee data. So we need to use these two properties here. So this is the code for employee view model.cs file. Step 5, we need to create API endpoint to bind data and perform pagination. So this is the controller employee API controller.cs file. So guys, inside the controller there is one empty API controller employee API controller.cs. Okay, and this is the code for employee API controller.cs file. So these are the namespaces. We need to use the models folder because I am use the inside models. I am creating this employee view model, so we need to access this properties as well. So for that I am using this namespace, and there is a route prefix API/employee and one route get emp details. So this employee view model nothing but this class file, right? and this is the method get emp uh, get employee method, and it has one parameter page number. So this is the use for per page. It will display the five employees. Okay, and this instantiate the employee view model, and the Satya event is nothing but is the art name inside the web.config. So it is also instantiate based on this object. I can access the employees count, and one is based on the page number, page 1 2 3 4 5. It will display the total this employee pipe number employees based on the page number. Okay, and it will display the order by a.id. So it is nothing but the id column of this employee. Okay, so it is order by the ascending, and this total count will be stored in the object emp. Okay, so object emp nothing but the employee view model object, and same for result, it will be stored inside the employee view model employees property. So if an exception, it will be handled by the catch block. So this is the code for employee API controller.cs file. Step 6, we need to create and install React.js. This is the command. Okay, and if you go to my VS Code, you can see the React application is created here after using this command. This to execute this command, 3.terminal and new terminal. So then step 7 is we need to check the React dependency. So guys, here there is one file called package.json. So in that file we can see some dependency. That means any packages installed, you can check the version here. Step 8, we need to install the bootstrap. npm install bootstrap --save. Same thing, we need to use the terminal and then execute that command. After then we can check the bootstrap here. Right here, bootstrap is installed. So step 9, we need to install React-bootstrap bootstrap for design table and button. So this is the command npm install space React-bootstrap space bootstrap. So after then we can check in package.json this React-bootstrap here. And there is step 10, we need to install the Axios library, that is the npm install --save Axios. So after installing, same way in package.json we can check the Axios library version here. And step 11, we need to install React-bootstrap -table2. Okay, we need to check the commands and check package.json and node_modules folder. So guys, so this is the React-bootstrap -table2 for implement the pagination. So these are the two URLs for bootstrap table next and bootstrap -table2 paginator. Let's go to check here. Okay, this is for React-bootstrap table next URL, and you can check the command here. So you'll get some ideas what is this React bootstrap table next. And this is for React bootstrap table2 paginator. Okay, this is the command here, and you will get some ideas on this part also. And guys, this is the command for bootstrap table next npm install React-bootstrap -table -next, and same way for bootstrap paginator npm install React-bootstrap -table2 -paginator. So this is the command to either you can execute this command or execute this command for table React-bootstrap -table -next. Same way for paginator, you can install this command or you can use this command. So this is the information for this React-bootstrap -table2 for pagination part. Okay, so we need to, after installing this successfully, we can check the package.json guys. So here you can see these two things is installed successfully, so that it is reflecting inside package.json. And guys, anything we have installed like Axios, bootstrap, React-bootstrap table next, React-bootstrap table2 then paginator, it will be added at the version inside the package.json. And if you want what is the package contains any extra files, you'll expand that node underscore modules folder. I'll show you one example. Recently we have installed the paginator part, right? These two table, React Bootstrap table next and the React Bootstrap table to paginator. So if you scroll to bottom, so you can see React is see here, right? React hyphen bootstrap table next, it has some folders. Same way for React hyphen bootstrap hyphen table to paginator. So you'll get the details inside the node underscore modules folder. Because any packages is installed, it will be saved inside the node underscore modules folder. Okay. Step 12, generate the React component, and that is two files I've created, employee list.js and employee pagination.js. So if you expand this src, there is one folder I created, model demo. Inside I have created two files, employee list.js and employee pagination.js. So step 13, we need to write our logic for performing the pagination operation, that is employee pagination.js. So this is the code for employee pagination.js, guys, and these are the import statements we need to use, because we have installed these packages, right? And the same way for function is employee pagination function. So we'll implement some logic here for performing the pagination part. This pagination provider, and the second one is for bootstrap table and pagination list standalone, and we need to close this pagination provider as well, right? So this is the code for employee pagination.js. So if you more details on this, I'll give some ideas on this. So employee pagination method have some parameters here, right? Data, page, size for page, on table change, total size, columns. So pagination provider is a function, so inside the pagination property, and it has a property set inside the pagination factory, right? And same way for bootstrap table, it has the key field id, okay, and data, columns, on table change, and pagination table props. And this pagination list standalone, it has the parameter pagination props here, and the deep tag close, the respective deep tag also closed here for after the pagination provider. So this is the code for employee pagination.js. Step 14, we need to open the employee list.js file and call web API endpoint. So there is open the employee list.js file and first import the necessary library in this file. So I'll open that employee list.js. So guys, this file is containing the logic for web API endpoints and some UI part, that is for columns and column values. Okay, so this is import React to React and import this three parts from this React hyphen bootstrap, and this is the Axios library from the Axios part. And this import is React bootstrap table next, and this employee pagination nothing but the employee pagination.js file, because whatever the logic we implement we need to import here, and the bootstrap CSS file, and this API URL nothing but our localhost API URL. And this class is employee list, extend the React component, this is the component. Okay, so here guys, we need to declare the property in the state, okay, right, as I mentioned here. And the other one is we need to create a column and set the style of each column inside the render method. So in the constructor I have set the state here, and component date mount, it is calling the bind method, and bind data is implemented here. So bind data, it is we filter the records using the API URL, okay, and concatenate with the get emp details. So guys, here you can see this, it is the route prefix as per my API endpoint, and this is concatenate with this method get emp details, it is nothing but my route value, right? Same thing I have implemented here. So on page handler, this is the async and await I have implemented here. The data, this is the page number and the data will show in the page number. It will show 5 employees per page. And inside the render method I have used some column style and whatever the columns ID, name, gender and salary. And this is React.fragment and container. It will be display the data as well as size per page, total counts and all the relevant column values. Okay, so this is I have used the nodes here. First declare the properties in the state, create the column and set the style of column inside the render method, create a method for bind the records and call inside the component did mount, design the call and pagination inside the return, create a page handler method for pagination. Okay, declare the properties in the state. So this is the declare the properties in the state, right? Second thing, create a column and set the style of column inside the render method. So guys, inside the render method I have used the column set, create a column and set the style of each column inside the method, right? Inside the render method, right? You can see here. Create a method for bind the records and call inside component did mount. So this is nothing but bind data, and inside the bind data I am calling this bind data method. So this is the implementation and this is the calling inside the component did mount. Design and call the employee pagination inside the return. Okay, so there is so this is the inside the render inside the return. Okay, so inside the return I have design and call the employee pagination inside the return. So inside the return I am implement the pagination part, right? So employee pagination, data, size per page, total counts, right? So this is all about the inside the return. And then create a page handler method for pagination. So there is page handler, right? So you can see this page handler is calling. So this page handler is implemented here. On page handler, this async and await we are implemented here. This is async and await. So this is all about the page handler, and this page handler is implemented inside the on table change part inside the React.fragment, right? So this is the nodes I mentioned. I also shown you in that code. Step 14 is completed. Step 15, we need to open the app.js, import necessary libraries. Okay, employee list.js, we just go to overview. So this is the code for employee list.js. So as per the step 15, we need to discuss about the app.js. So guys, this is the code for app.js. This app.js is import employee list.js and a function app, and it will be inside the div class I implement the employee list.js file. Discuss the index.js, app.css, index.css and index.html. First the index.js. So index.js, guys, this is the import statements we need to use, right? And this is the code for root.render. This document.getElementID, it is the root which is used inside the div id index.html. So this is the code for index.js. So in app.css, so app.css is nothing but some CSS classes we use for UI part. Index.css, so this index.css, same thing for UI part, some CSS properties here. So we need to set the CSS classes and we need to import the CSS properties here. So it is used for design part. And index.html, so index.html is available inside the public folder index.html. So this is the start page of our React application. So see here guys, dbid set as the root here. So all codes are similar. So this is the one line is important here, dbid root. Step 17, we need to set the course cross origin resource shared in Web API. So guys, what is course? I have mentioned the note here. So I'll show you how to set the course. Go to the Web API. Inside the app on the start folder, there is Web API config.cs file. So you need to add this namespaces and this line of code to enable the course. And for this course in installation, we need to first from NuGet package install the package. After then we need to add this namespace and this two line of code. Enable course attribute, and this three stars nothing but origin, header and methods, and this config enable course, pass these values. Step 18, we need to run Web API and run the React app. First we need to run the Web API. So guys, my API URL is Web API is running successfully. So we need to check the response. Okay, so here I need to copy this URL, go to the browser. So guys, I need to check for page number 1 how many employees. So this localhost port number, API employees is route prefix, get EMP details is my route, goes request query string, pass the parameter as page number 1. So guys, here I'm getting in page number 1 total 5 records, 1 ID 1 to ID 5. For page number 2 I'm getting for ID 6 to ID 10. For page number 3 I'm getting from ID 11 to ID 15, and for page number 4 I'm getting ID 16 to ID 20, and for page number 5 I'm getting one record, last record, that is ID 21, because we have total 21 rows. So per page it will display 5 employees, so that's why in last page, page number 5, I'm getting one record. Same thing we will check in React UI. So let's run my React application. 3 dot terminal, new terminal. So guys, command is npm start. So guys, you can see my React application is compiled successfully. I'm getting this URL, so I'll go to my browser and browse this. So see here guys, this is the React application using the pagination. So per page you can see this is the pagination, total 5 pages. Okay, so per page I'm getting 5 records. For page number 1, page number 2, 5 records, page number 3, next 5 records, page number 4, next 5 records, and page number 5 I have 1 record. So if you click on this previous page, it will go to the previous page. So if you click on this next page, it will go to the next page, right? So this is the way we can implement pagination in React using Web API. So guys, there is two things we need to check at the Bootstrap. Click on inspect element, and there is some Bootstrap, right, to verify if there is different devices. If you check that based on the device screen, it will be auto adjust the React application. Right, so next one is we need to check the endpoint used in our React application. So click on this network tab, refresh the URL. So guys, here you can see this endpoint, right, get EMP details, page number 1. So there is a header and this payload preview. You can see for page number 1 total 5 records, and this is the response I'm getting. If you click on page 2, it will be one more endpoint, get emp details page 2. If you select that, go to preview, there is a next 5 records. If you click on page 3, I'm getting this endpoint, and this is showing 5 records, 11 to 15. Page 4, so page 4 endpoint, I'm getting the employee whose ID 16 to 20. Page 5, this is the last record, I'm getting whose ID is 21. That is the last employee details, because page 5 I have one record, so this endpoint is showing one record here. A response also one record, and the initiator and timing. So in this way we can check the API endpoint in our React application using browser inspect element. Okay, so let's go to my notes. So output I already discussed in ASP.NET Web API as well as in React application. So guys, whatever the React related files codes I have discussed, these are all available inside the GitHub. So this is the URL, so I'll show you that. So guys, this is the URL, okay, and you can download that file from this GitHub repository, React with Web API Pagination. Let's go to my presentation. Okay, let's go to my presentation here. So what is Axios library? Axios is the JavaScript HTTP client, and that works asynchronously and allows us to make HTTP call and consume REST API. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.